Hello, guys. Happy New Year's. Another year in the PancakeSwap kitchen, another year living in the crypto ecosystem, in the rabbit hole. Any way you like to say this, lovely for moments, um, exhausting for moments, full of joy for moments, full vision ecosystem we live on. And here we are on another Pancake Talks episode featuring a new project, featuring new guests today, featuring more people that are building day by day on this lovely place, right? I don't know how what else can I say today. It's a super energy starting of the year. I think we all woke up with a lot of messages. We woke up with a lot of goals, with a lot of things to do. With where I'm where I'm today, it's like it's been it already passes one day, and I'm kind of super hype of what's coming. I hope my partner is in the same stage as I am. Let's ask him. Hey Anicero, how you doing? Happy New Year, guy.
Happy New Year to everybody here in the PancakeSwap community. Yeah, I feel very nice for this
Oh, I don't know if I lost you or if it's my internet who doesn't want to work on 2025. Are you there, Annie? Oh, I think we lost him. Okay. I will continue presenting our guest today, and then he can come back whenever he feels, whenever his internet wants to work. Okay, we have a different guest from the ones we are maybe used to today in the podcast. I'm not going to present them. I will let them to present themselves. But I want to say, like, I like the way they are thinking how to bring the Web2 community into this vision ecosystem. So let's give a warm welcome. It says that we will have one guest, but gladly we have two. So let's introduce Kima Finance to the stage. Hey guys, how are you doing today?
Doing great, doing great. Thank you for having us. Indeed, where to today? Myself, Tomer, and with me, Atlas, our Chief Business Development Officer. Me as CMO for the project. Atlas, thank you for being able to come over here also to help. It just happens to be that I have a sick baby with me. That we have two, one with my wife, one with me. Then, in case there will be some cryouts, then Atlas came here to help us, and of course we were all lucky to have him, and we'll be able to provide a lot more deep look into Kima, our process, what we're doing, and yeah, going to be fun. Then thank you for having us, Atlas. Please.
Thank you very much, folks. As Tomer has already introduced me, I'm the CBDO for Kima Finance. As you can see, the business development manager does everything. So this is why I'm here to help Tomer on this case. And we are very happy to be here, Chef and the PancakeSwap team. So it's our pleasure to be here, really, as Kima Finance.
Thank you for being here. I hope my internet is back at normal. And yeah, I'm very interested today to speak about Kima Network. There is some problems that many people are working, like interoperability, on ramp, off ramp. So we will be touching these points on this Pancake Talk, and it's very interesting because it's something that we need for the future of crypto. So maybe we can jump in the questions. What do you think, Chef?
I think I have one. I have one gossip question. If you want to answer me, guys, in simple words or the fattest way you can say, how you ended up in crypto in this ecosystem.
I will take first, and then Atlas, you can be second. My path was actually kind of funny. I'm in digital marketing and tech for the last 25 years, coming from cybersecurity background. Had a few companies of my own, startups. 3 crashed, 2 I managed to sell, and get out, and became an angel investor like 12 years ago. Been investing in crypto since 2019, but in the industry since 2016. So my journey in was like a very funny one, because if you see my nickname, my nickname is everywhere's Crypto Schmipto. It started as a joke, that crypto is complete nonsense. Me and my partner back in the day, I think it was around 2012, 2013, we were having fun with Bitcoin, and we all the time bought it, and then found, as we call them, suckers, to pay more for this thing that we just that we just bought, this internet funny money. And then in around 2016, 17, 18, we had the ICO boom. Industry was booming, and 2016, a lot of my friends were looking for ways to bring in users that basically will buy their tokens, but these users are Ethereum wallet holders that has ETH in their wallets, and it was like finding a needle in a haystack back in the day. And they called me to help them try and figure out how we can reach out to them and to create some growth tactics that will be delivering successful ICOs. And so we did. So started developing some tactics with them. It was used by various ICOs during the ICO boom. And that's basically how I joined. It started as a joke from the crypto schmipto joke about Bitcoin, and then continued as something that was a need in the industry, and my skill set was able to answer and help some of my friends. And here I am today.
I like to hear these stories about how people start. Very nice. And then Atlas, if you want also to introduce yourself.
Yeah, for sure. So my story was a little similar to Tomer's one, but my one was a little bit later than Tomer's actually. So I have worked just before the crypto and the blockchain. I worked for some technology multinationals like Intel Corporation, like Qualcomm, and mostly they are original, hardware manufacturers, CPUs for laptops, PCs, and also the mobile devices. Then I quitted my job in order to pursue entrepreneurship as an entrepreneur for a startup company. The startup company was doing software infrastructure and applications for electrical cars, charging stations. At that time, electric cars on 2018 and 19 was so small. I mean, that was not the right time to enter that business. So I have to confess. So this is why I, choose to exit from that company. I sold my, shares to the other partners. Luckily, they have accepted. And then I just entered into the blockchain business and the market with one of my friends' help to become a CMO for a launchpad and incubator at that time at 2019, 2020, something like that, 4 or 5 years ago. And then since then, I worked for many different kind of projects. So I expand my network through working for layer 2 chains, blockchains, Bitcoin, EVM, and some incubators, venture capitals, DeFi protocols. But the most exciting one has been with Kima, actually. So we are going to explain why it is so. Just after your questions, of course.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. It's like it's a joke until it's not no more. Yeah, I think we all passed that that stage at some point. So would love to do this question because crypto is a thing that you are maybe in 20 years people will be maybe native crypto, like they born with crypto. But right now, we all come from really different places, and it's really nice to see how we ended up doing this. As a question to start, you both mentioned Kima, so can you guys explain to us, to the PancakeSwap community, what Kima is and what its mission, what problem comes to solve?
We'll be happy to pick this one up. And due to the reason that initially I started as an angel investor to Kima, and just later on I got an opportunity to join as a late founder to the team, and took the role of a CMO, and then before Atlas also was doing the CBDO kinda. So the thing is that initially, before I invested in Kima, I was jumping on a call with Eitan, the CEO. It was supposed to be a 25-minute call. It turned into 3 hours. I was just amazed by what the team is trying to create, and I couldn't quite understand how it works. So then 3 hours turned into a meeting in a coffee shop. Instead of sitting there for an hour, we sat for another 3 hours, which at the end of them, of course, I invested and joined the team. And the reason was that they needed someone to explain what they do. So here I am. We'll be happy then to explain what we are doing in Kima. And to simplify it, Kima is a universal communication protocol. What Kima does is unifying, connecting every blockchain on Earth to every other blockchain on Earth, and every centralized application to any decentralized application, and vice versa. Yes, you heard me correctly. We are connecting every centralized application to any decentralized application on Earth. Our solution is completely agnostic to the asset type, completely agnostic to the technology now and in the future. And basically, we are able to do all of this magic by creating a communication protocol that is using no smart contracts. It is using no oracles at all, and uses a unique solution created by the Kima protocol, based on, by the way, on a Cosmos SDK. We created this bridgeless multi-bridge that can connect everything to everything. Imagine that Kima is something like the HTTPS of blockchains. So it doesn't matter if you are using Microsoft Azure, you're using Google Cloud, you're using Alibaba Cloud, you're using Amazon AWS, whatever you want. Your browser will basically know exactly where you are, or be able to where you need to go, where you are, and how to parse everything, all the communication that is coming through. Kima does exactly the same. So imagine that at the moment, not imagine, just from your experience, you guys are well experienced in it, so you don't need to imagine it that well. But we're using a bridge today. If I want to transfer an asset from one side to another, what I would do is I would basically go to, let's say, Solana smart contract. I would send 100 USDC, and then on the BNB side, I will be getting 100 USDC in a transaction that was initiated from the first side of the bridge. That is hyper risky because we're relying on two things here. We're relying on smart contracts and or oracles to resolve these transactions and initiate them. Both of them are software created by men, which means that if I'm able to hack one side, I'm able to drain out completely the liquidity on one or both sides of the bridge. Kima solves it in a very unique way. By the way, the problem that I just mentioned is the main problem that prevents the centralized applications from using DeFi solutions today, because no one would basically take the responsibility for it, right? If I'm sending money from one bank to another, then if something happens on the way, they know exactly where the money is and they can roll back the transaction. If someone steals the assets on the way, they can basically go to that bank where you send the money to and just call the money back, and here it is coming back to us. On blockchain, we don't have it, right? Everything is a one-way street because of the immutable nature of the blockchains. So everything that happens on the blockchain stays on the blockchain, and it happens in real time. Big problem. So now let's do the exact transaction in Kima. Kima creates on every blockchain that we're connected to a Kima relay. That Kima relay is basically the Ethernet socket that you have in your wall at home. It will be used in my next example to transfer messages to the Kima network from any blockchain, in our example, Solana and BNB chain. So Kima has an SDK, and that SDK is now implanted on the Solana smart contract. Let's say the origin that we want to send the money from. So from the source. So source is Solana in my example, 100 USDC sent to Solana. Smart contract. The smart contract is Kima's SDK. And instead of initiating a smart contract transaction once it confirms something on BNB chain, it stops here and sends a message to the Kima network through the relay. So imagine that the SDK is like the Ethernet cable, and now I connected the Ethernet cable to the Kima network through the Kima relay. So now we're connected, so to speak, to the internet of blockchains, to Kima. So the smart contract now sent a message, through the Kima relay on Solana to the Kima network saying, I got 100 USDC. Once confirmed, send 100 USDC to that wallet on BNB chain. Now, this is where the magic kicks in. So the message has arrived to the Kima network. Now, as I told you, Kima network has no smart contracts on it, so it has only validator nodes on it. These validator nodes are the ones who are going now to physically validate on Solana that indeed that transaction happened in the past, historically, that it's there. Once we will be able to confirm it, 2/3 of the validator nodes confirming physically that the Solana transaction happened, meaning to hack it, you need to hack to all of the Solana network and fake that transaction. And impossible to do. So once 2/3 of the validator nodes confirm that the transaction indeed happened, they are now initiating the second stage, and each of them is revealing a shard stored on its CPU core, and that shard of each is going to form the private keys required to initiate the transaction on the Ethereum side in our, let's say, MPC vault. So once revealed and decrypting the shard, the network, again, decrypts everything and reforms the private key required to initiate the transaction. All of the network of Kima, the validator nodes themselves, they go and sign the transaction on the Ethereum side and sending 100 USDC to the destination wallet on the Ethereum side. On the BNB chain side, pardon me. So all of that magic, guys, that I just explained, sound like a long process, a long and sophisticated process. But the truth is that it happened at the speed of light. It's indeed very complex, but the process happens almost at the speed of light because there is no latency. If you've noticed, we did not send any assets. We sent a message to the network, so you cannot steal something that doesn't exist. You have nothing to steal. We sent a message, right? Then second stage, the network itself had to validate that the transaction indeed happened on Solana, then revealing the shard stored on the CPU core, technology called T, technology by Intel. And basically, all of it sounds very complex, but happened at the speed of light because there was no computation process, guys. There was no computation process taking place. The only computation process that we had is the amount of time it took to the Solana smart contract to resolve the transaction, and then the latency that we have on the BNB side to resolve the smart contract transaction that was initiated by the network. But the Kima magic happened exactly like we're having this video stream. It happened at the speed of light, no latency, no computation. So this amazing process that is theoretically unhackable in each and every level of it is enabling the most secure, cheap, and efficient transfer of messages between any blockchain to any blockchain. And because we do not have any smart contracts on Kima, We are the only app chain, the only blockchain that enables the existence of a centralized API. So every centralized application now can directly speak with the Kima network and sends the messages through the Kima network to any dApp at once on the other side. So imagine that with Kima, technically, you can do much more than just transferring assets. You can connect your bank account, let's say your Citibank bank account, to your Bitcoin wallet and lock through the bank. The bank will lock Bitcoin on your Bitcoin wallet and will grant you a mortgage against it. You can now connect, theoretically, your PlayStation Network account, let's say, to your Arbitrum wallet, and to mint assets from your PlayStation directly to Arbitrum and vice versa. So all of these things are opening a whole new world of possibilities, not only for DeFi, but for creators, for developers to create new breed of decentralized applications. We're not stopping at tokens. We are taking it, at currency. We're taking it to a completely new level that enables interoperability of every centralized idea you have with an application with any decentralized capability. All of this mind-blowing capabilities are happening thanks to the innovative way that Kima was built, and basically presented a solution that doesn't exist in the industry today at all. Yeah, hope that helps. Sorry if it was a little bit long, but it takes time sometimes to explain how we're different than a bridge. Also important to mention that we're not competing, guys, with other bridges. We are basically here to offer the industry, to utilize our protocol, the Kima protocol, to build better products with their products. So imagine that we are now Google presenting Android to BlackBerry, Nokia, Microsoft Pocket PCs, Palm Pilots. That's what we're basically doing. We're telling everyone, we're not here to fight anyone. We're not competing with anyone. We're here to unite everyone. We're here to unify all of the blockchain realms together with one simple protocol that makes everything better for everyone, and especially to the end users, to the consumers.
Wow, yeah, that was a very great explanation, because I think people need time to digest all this information, because it's quite special. What are you doing? Like there is no oracles, is no smart contracts, it's not a bridge. So it's like a new concept like you mentioned. And I didn't get why there is no competition between Kima and other bridge or interoperability solutions. If you can dig a little bit more about it, maybe there is possibilities to be using Kima technology and also other interoperability solution at the same time. How this is working? Is only one standard that will be used to interchange this message, or it can be different standard coexisting at the same time?
So the thing with Kima is that we're now allowing every existing solution to connect to the Kima protocol to better their services, their existing solutions. When I said that we're not competing, I meant that Google Android was not aiming to replace BlackBerry, Nokia, LG, Samsung. They never aimed to replace the operating like the device manufacturers, devices. They were aiming to replace the way that their old operating systems were operating in a way that it was also very not user-friendly, not innovative, and very expensive to develop, they took the load off all of them and presented Android, one universal language that enables all of them to get best possible operating system, right? For like, unless you're iOS people like me, but in that example, the Android experience that was presented to the world. We are here, for example, to offer to any existing, so to speak, competitor to utilize Kima Network capabilities to provide their customers and their existing solutions an unhackable method to transfer messages and to transfer value between chains. We're not here to replace their platform. We are not building bridges, guys. It's important to mention. We are not building bridges. We are not the ones that are doing the swaps between cross-chain, for example. But let's say that the PancakeSwap would now like to build an ultra swapper that will basically enable swap from Solana to Arbitrum, from Arbitrum to Bitcoin, even from Bitcoin to Near and whatever you want, or even from your credit card directly to whatever you want. Then you guys will be using Kima's protocol to create that solution. We are not building dApps. We're providing the solution itself, the universal communication protocol to enable it. All of that magic of transferring of messages that can be translated to assets, to some kind of an other digital value, or just into actions that need to happen on one side or another. So that's how we're not competing, but completing the existing solutions that our so-called competitors, I don't like to say competitors, but our peers are having today.
Okay, nice. I had some question like Annie, so glad Annie mentioned it. I have another question about security in this interoperability, but with your answer, I think we all got that part. I also need time to digest what you guys are doing on the technical side because yeah, it's a lot, but glad to find these solutions because we always talk about massive adoption, and without this we can't have it. So yeah, please continue doing what you're doing with this because it's really important to get more and more people to join this Web3 ecosystem.
Thank you. And you're right on the money, literally, there with what you just said. So regarding, the mass adaptation of Web3, that everybody's promising, like, we're using DeFi. Guys, this is awesome. Why not everyone's using it? Like, there's no reason on earth for people not to use DeFi. It's better, it's faster, it's cheaper, it's more accessible. Why not use it? Problem is that currently it's too complex to use. And truly, instead of simplifying things for the mass adaptation of this technology, people are trying to, not all, everyone, of course, many are creating great solutions will make your life easy. Like, for example, PancakeSwap, the liquidity pool usurpers, etc., making earning accessible to everyone with a few simple clicks with almost zero knowledge. So we're here also to basically provide a tool that will enable every user on Earth to use DeFi because creators can now create new ways to interact with blockchains that do not require the user on the other side to even know that the app is built using blockchain technology. They don't need to know that they have a wallet. They will be just holding the app, and they will see how much money they have, which assets they have, or even, getting their driver's license dropped by the government to their Ethereum wallet or whatnot. So they don't need to know what Ethereum is. They don't need to understand what an NFT is. They don't need to know what a soulbound token is. But, and thanks to Kima, we're enabling to create a universal solution for all blockchains and all centralized applications, that now everything can communicate and operate in an interoperable way together. That's how we're truly trying to onboard the masses into the blockchain. If you guys are old like me, you remember that back in the day, Atlas and I are old enough, we're same age, but back in the day, we used to call it the Web 2, the social media revolution. When Web 2 began, no one knew that we're going to be in Web 2, right? We were just calling it the internet. And people around us thought that we're crazy. What? You will put your picture on the internet and you will put your name. People will know who you are and where you live. Oh, no. Why are you doing this? This is very dangerous. And the ones who did it were basically nerds, people like us, who knew PHP and, we could program and we know to use content management systems. And we knew our way about how to create stuff on this internet to put our voice there. And then companies like YouTube, like Twitter, like Facebook came over and said, hey guys, you don't need to know anything. Give me an email, choose a password, and boom, you're live. Here you are. This is your webpage, your internet page. This is your picture. Speak to the world. And suddenly you can create content. The user-generated content era began, and it exploded because the solution was simplified to every user. No one needed to know to code. No one needed to know to design. Everything is ready for you. Here, email, password, start posting. Choose an image from your computer, add text, and here you are. You're live on the internet. Your picture, your video. It simplified everything because no one needed to know how it works. And that's what we are trying to do with Kima, to provide that capability.
Yes, you have just said, I think you are the first guest here because I'm like a broken disc with this. I'm always saying like people don't need to care. People don't care, and people they don't need to know at the end. It's like using the internet. Users don't care what they are doing. They just want to do it simple as possible. And a lot of people in the crypto ecosystem, it's really stubborn with that idea, trying to explain at the every detail. And there are just some geeks like us trying to understand that because we love to understand what's happening behind the scenes. But my mom doesn't care. The guy at your car mechanic doesn't care. They just want to use it and benefit from it. So thank you for mentioning this because it's super important when you think in the mass adoption. Nobody cares if it's a Optimist rollup, if it's a CK rollup. It's like useless information to general public. So thanks for mentioning this because I think it's super, super important.
Our pleasure. We really like the fact that you see eye to eye with us and with our vision. So it's really warming to see, and especially getting this feedback from people like you, who are basically one of the, I think, most crucial players in our DeFi industry today. So thank you for the
Yes,
kind
I
words.
think it happens. It happens the same with PancakeSwap. I mean, people wants to use the platform. People wants to trade tokens. It will happen someday. I always say that crypto future is multi-chain and interoper. I'm not an English native, but
Interoperable. Yeah.
interoperable.
I hate this word also. I hate it.
But yes, it's like at the end, what happens behind the scenes doesn't even care. It's the same with account abstraction. A big problem of crypto, it's how do you keep your seeds safe, how you set up the wallet. It's also a solution for that being worked on. It's like the future is like, as you say, like, do you have your email? Do you have your passkey? Whatever. Okay, you are logged into the crypto world, and you are going to be safe, and you are going to trade your tokens. You are going to use Kima and maybe they don't even know they are going to use Kima. It's the magic behind it that it's what it's important. So to link with the next question, and we don't take 3 hours as your call talking. It's like I can see there is going to be a lot, but what are the biggest challenge you are suffering, you are having, you anticipate for Kima to achieve its mission? I think there is a big things. I know compliance. There is a lot for you to try to face.
Atlas, I want them to see that you're not only beautiful, but indeed, one of the strongest voices in Kima.
Thank you very
Take
much.
this one, bro. Take it. All
Of
yours.
course, of course. Thank you very much for sure. So, okay, the challenge I think is the time. So because our solution, as Tomer has already explained in a very detailed manner, so I think the opportunities is out there. So Kima is here not only solve the problems of DeFi. So we actually solve the problems of GameFi vertical, DeFi vertical. Not only in the Web3, also we solve the problem of interoperability problems of the Web2 space as well. As already Tomer has mentioned, Kima is the only protocol on Earth which connect both Web 2 and the Web 3 world, just with one simple API. So it is a really breakthrough approach, and also so we provide the most almost the most secure way of transferring assets and ensuring the interoperability at the same time. So I think the challenge is time. So because every product, so in technology, every product life cycle starts with early adopters, penetration, etc. So we are at that stage at the moment because we have just launched our mainnet. So this technology and the products have been building for 2 years now. We have great backers, believers actually, because they have seen the potential. We have been incubated by already ChangeGPT. We have been invested by the top tier venture capitals like Big Brain Holdings, Blockchain Capital, Outlier Ventures, and many more. So the thing is, the product is out there at the moment. We have just launched our mainnet, so so we have more than 50 different partnerships has already announced. They are building on Kima at the moment. Just in a very short period of time, maybe just 1 month after the mainnet launch, approaching 5 to 10 different dApps have been already integrated. So we have started announcing these integrations when you look at our Twitters. So we just need time in order to ensure that the market get aware of this ultimate solution for the interoperability. And of course, this is our bandwidth to work all of these partners to get them on board. And from a technological perspective, so we are all good. So everything is in place. So from the challenge, yes. So just we need some time to handle all of these partners. So we have 200 more partners in the pipeline, to work and in order to make them on board. Actually, I mean, we are all good. So let me ask some contributions here. Do you see some other challenges, Tomer, except time perspective?
Well, I think it's actually a great question. What kind of challenges we see. I believe that the main challenge that Kima sees at the moment, you are more on the deal side. You actually on board the projects into Kima, and you're there with all of the calls and conversations. You know all of the ins and outs of what they're asking and what they actually mean. But I'd say that at the moment, from the challenge side, is to connect the big boys, to onboard them into the Kima network, because Kima was built, as you understand, to connect the big players of the real financial ecosystem, outside into our small, tiny, but ever-growing ecosystem of DeFi. Now, these are banks, these are governments, these are fintech titans. These are very hyper-regulated, heavy, compliant organizations. They require a lot in order to actually start working with this. We are proud to say that we're currently probably the only completely decentralized solution that enables them to do such a thing and to even think about answering their need. But still, it will take time until they will fully on board. We cannot mention names, but for example, we're at the moment already in initial discussions in various different stages with the 3 governments that we are trying to provide a solution for their upcoming CBDCs. So, this is something huge that is happening now, but you don't know how long it will take to actually mature, right, into a solution. It does not only rely on us. So I'd say that the main challenges for us, it's that things in the centralized world are working much, much slower and in a much more boring, regulated compliance, mumbo jumbo way that prevents us from exploding with the solution with the big boys. That's what I see. On the other hand, I would like to say that we're going to have in January some huge announcements. We already have 4 huge partners like these signed with us, Fortune 500 companies that are going to become part of the Kima Network. So stay tuned and follow us to learn who they are. Still not big, huge banks and still not big, huge governments, but you will like these names and most likely you guys are using them on a daily basis. So that's regarding the challenge with a little bit of a hope at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, it seems like a hard challenge to deal with all the bureaucracy and also, I don't know, different laws in different regions of the world that you need to comply. So this part of the connecting banks with the blockchain, I think will be the most challenge for a project like Kima. And talking about this, putting together traditional finance world with the crypto and blockchain ecosystems, what are you are probably looking to all the different legislations around tokenization, digital assets, and I would like to know if you have a specific area you are focusing, and if your users of in Kima Network, they need to pass know your customs rules, and what is your point in here in this compliant question.
I will answer from a bird's eye view, just the concept, and Atlas can give you a more drill down answer if you'd like. I just say that from our end as the Kima Network, we do not require any KYC. The KYC is basically happening on the decentralized application or the application side. We are providing the service. So it's like, to operate on Solana, you do not need to do KYC to send a transaction on Solana. You do need a KYC, for example, if you want to invest in a certain project, then you need to fill in a SAFT for a project launching on Solana, or to transfer money from a certain Solana dApp to your bank account. So that's from a bird's eye view about how it works and what is needed. But Atlas, please feel free to complete me if anything was missed.
No, completely true. Actually, Kima provides the infrastructure for the interoperability. So it is up to the dApp, Web3 application, or Web2 companies' responsibility to decide on the requirement for the QIC, QIB, etc. But from the infrastructure perspective, we have that compliance. I mean, we have the security features like tracking the AML, technologies as well. So whenever the more regulatory measurements needed, so we can also provide this, QIC, QIB, and AML checks in order to ensure that the entire transactions and the business is compliant to the, from the regulatory perspective. Yes, as Thomas said, so we are providing the infrastructure, yes, but whenever is needed, so our technology is capable of providing the QIC, QIB, and also AML checks. So on behalf of the client and the projects, for example, we can ensure that the wallets, the receiver or the destination wallets will not be in the blacklisted wallet pool, for example. So this can be thought as another security measurements that we can apply for the project partners and the platforms. But mainly this is the responsibility of the application or dApp itself.
Nice. Thank you, guys. I think it's noticeable that you are really passionate of what that you're doing, because you ran out all of our questions that we had for today, at least in terms of product. It's like from the first answer, it's like, okay, he's answering most of it. So I need to think more questions of what I would like to know about you and about Kima. Maybe as a wrap up, maybe it's a broader question, so you can take your time for doing it. I would like to know first on Kima's perspective, but also at yours perspective, as a user, as a builder, as another person in the crypto ecosystem. In your view, how can DeFi change the traditional finance landscape? And of course, how do you think Kima is going to take part? It's going to lead. It's going to be one more building into this transformation. It could be in a near future, in a more time future. You can take the question as you prefer.
Atlas, go, please. Crying baby situation.
Of course. So I would like to put both Kima's and also my personal perspective first, and then Tomer can follow whenever he's available. Actually, if it's Kima and my personal view, actually puts a vision in the future that brings the mass adoption to the industry. But also, I mean, for achieving the mass adoption, yes, we need to bring some breakthrough technologies to ensure that interoperability will be seamless for the end user. So end user meaning Web 2 users or Web 3, but mostly Web 2 users, because when it comes to the finance and the TVLs and the amount, still Web3 represents a very small percentage of the the world's economy, right? So we need more liquidity, we need more users to make it more from the business perspective efficient to operate on it. So from that perspective, the DeFi and also the traditional finance and the decentralized finance should actually blur its line. So whether you are in Web3 space or Web2 space as an investor, you should use both technologies and business opportunities, investment opportunities, without need to know anything about your wallet, your key phrases. You don't have to know what is the chain, what is the blockchain, what is the gas fee. This brings so many complications. So from the early mentions that, as you probably, Chef Fran, you have mentioned about the abstraction. So abstraction really brings a huge value into the space. Also, Kima's interoperability bring another. So with this abstraction, yes, the Web2 users actually don't have to know what is wallet, what is gas fee network. So it enables them to operate in the decentralized finance space without knowing anything about blockchain. And interoperability make this happen. I mean, so from that perspective, really the Web 2 to Web 3 interoperability plays a key role in this mass adoption, together with the account abstraction. So these two technologies actually enable Web 2 users invest and bring their money into the Web 3 space in a more seamless manner. So we are going to have more users in Web 3 as a mass adoption, more liquidity, more resources, and then the projects will prosper in a better sense. So as I mentioned, Kima's interoperability will play a key role here, and also account abstraction, chain abstraction, the abstraction itself as a main concept also plays a key role with the interoperability. So our vision is actually to create a world, where the users, investors can invest in both Web 2 and the Web 3 at the same time without knowing anything about blockchain. It should be seamless. And at that time, so everything will be interoperable by its nature from Web 2 to Web 3 or the vice versa. Tomar, would you like to add something more about the vision?
I think
Here I am. Sorry.
okay.
Yeah. Here I am. So, well, initially the vision. So a step back of just to wrap things up because I see we ran out of time. I will be quick. How Kima came to be? We did not discuss about this. So Kima started originally as a different project, a project called Diversify. The team's vision was to unify all of the liquidity sources on all blockchains in order to solve the liquidity problem that we're having as an ecosystem. While trying to do so, the team encountered one big problem, that bridges are being hacked all the time. They're the number one target for hackers. And because they're so hackable, and so vulnerable, we're having a serious problem to be able to navigate assets and value from one point to another. And this is very, very inefficient because imagine that we have so many blockchains now that has so much TVL on them, but that TVL is basically not being used and utilized in a way that it should. Let's say, I don't know, stuff on Algorand is not being utilized completely. Then let's say that it can be beneficial for the users on Base or on Arbitrum, that the fees there are very, very high, while just giving an example, on Algorand very, very low due to adaptation. But TVL is still there. So while trying to solve it, they encountered this problem of security. And then our co-founder, Eitan, the CEO, Eitan Katz, who was, by the way, part of the core team of Project Aegis, if you guys remember it, back in 2013, I think it was, the first cold wallet in the world was created by him and his team. He found a way to create a bridge that will be using no bridges, meaning a bridgeless bridge with no smart contracts that will rely on no oracles and that will be theoretically unhackable to solve that liquidity problem. Then that's what gave birth to the Kima protocol. That was the vision. And we truly hope that more and more developers will understand what is enabled now thanks to Kima, and will help us connect all of the web into just one web instead of the 1, 2, 3s, into one web that our children will just call the internet, and to simplify the use of DeFi and cryptocurrencies without even knowing what cryptocurrencies are, blockchains, what are they, technologies, etc. That's our vision, guys, to simplify and unite all of this ecosystem into one big happy family that is actually friendly and accessible to every human on Earth, to enjoy the magnificent capabilities of decentralization, DeFi, and digital asset ownership.
Nice. Thank you for that broader answer. I was expecting to be like that. I have the same feelings about Kima and about the ecosystem, and at least my opinion, it's like that's the steps all projects should be seeing in terms of contribute and having a longer with more user base life. And I don't have anything else to add. I think what you guys are doing, it's pretty amazing, and I share with you all the challenge you may face in the near future are going to be exhausting, but also there are things that not too much projects are facing. So it will be really nice to see how you surf in this crypto sea with all of this challenge and new features coming to Kima. Also, I would like to see some big boys appearing in the ecosystem. So I will be taking an eye on your Twitter account and your social. So please update me once some of this happens. Annie, do you have anything else to add to the guys, or maybe to add into the conversation?
No, nothing else to ask. It's just quite amazing. The protocol Kima, I think I learned a lot about it today, and I think they are doing something special. They have very good partners, and I will do the same as you, Chef Fran, like looking what are they achieving for the future, because I feel that like is something special. So thank you very much, Tomer and Atlas, for your time being here on the Pancake Talks. It was a pleasure to learn from you.
Thank you so much for your time and for having us, guys. It was a lot of fun. We are big fans of PancakeSwap, so for me, it's a big honor also to be hosted here on your show and with you guys. Thank you so much. Atlas, all yours.
Actually the same. So to being here is our proud, and it's our pleasure to being hosted here, guys. So I think we are here to stay, and we are going to work with PancakeSwap in a more deeply manner, and we are going to announce this news as well to our community.
Nice. We hope so. It was a really pleasure to have you here in the Pancake Talks. And for all the community listening, we run these spaces, best case scenario, once a week. So please tune in next Thursday for another insightful episode here in the Pancake Swap Kitchen. Thank you guys for coming. Let's see you really, really soon, and have a nice start of the year, guys. Bye bye.
Happy New Year.
Bye,
Take care.
guys.
Bye bye.
Happy New
Thank you very
Year,
much. Bye bye.
guys. And